Hello, everyone. So I'm going to make a quick update of my activities that I've been involved in so far during this visit. I have. Sorry for the interruption. There is a lot of work going on here. Um, at any given moment, there is work going on. By the way, I'm seated at a small office that I'm building in Johnsonville. It's a two-story small office building. I started building just to use as a place where I can sit and think when I'm in Liberia. Just to give you an update once again on my activities since I got into the country 3 weeks ago, I've been working on Xity. As you all know, this is the initial steps that we are now taking on the ground to, for example, prepare the sites and all of that. But even before coming to that, we had to deal with the government to get certain permits and I'm very excited to announce that I finally, after some hectic times running after this paper, we finally were able to get what is called the land use permit. So this document, which I finally found, the stack of documents I have here, gives us the authority to begin using the site as we have intended and have laid out. So this basically allows us to retain the way we've zoned and laid out Xity. The government reviewed that layout to make sure that it didn't violate any type of standard that exists in terms of how land can be used and utilized. So they did go to the site and visited and inspected and did everything they needed to do, and we presented all of the diagrams and documents however way they wanted it. So it was a bit of hectic task to get this done, but to be quite honest, and I'll get to that so far in terms of like how I've been doing. But this document process, although it was hectic, because I think any engagement with any government actually can be hectic. The government has a certain way of doing things and a certain way they want documents submitted, etc., etc. You have to go through that, and I understand all of that. So I'm not even complaining about that process. Although it wasn't free from some easily avoidable situations. But in general, I think I estimated worse than what happened, so I'm good with it. And I think I also met some folks who, thankfully, seem to be genuinely interested and encouraging about what I'm doing. And I'll get to that later. So I'm excited that we got this land permit. Actually, there is a section here that says this land use development permit, which is this document that I'm holding, indicates that the Liberia Land Authority, LLA, has approved your application for the execution of land development as per your request. This therefore constitutes the owners/agents just sufficient authority to proceed with the execution of the anticipated item checked above. They have a few things checked above that I'm authorized to do, which is sufficient for me to basically start clearing the land and partitioning, for example, the residential zone, the industrial sites, and the commercial side. And continue. Under the supervision of a qualified engineer until the full-size work or activities is completed. I am a qualified engineer, by the way, so yeah. So I have the document here, so I'm very, very excited about this approval. This is a milestone accomplishment because this means that our entire plan can proceed in terms of like preparing the site. The next document we get from the government is actually the building permit, right? So for each of those zones, we have different types of buildings that will be going on there. And before we can get that permit, we have to present like all of the architectural drawing and the specifications of the buildings that are going to build in those areas. And I am preparing myself to present all of those documents. So everything I need to do to make sure that Xity for the long term remains successful and unhindered and uninterrupted, I am doing those things now. And whether that means it will slow me down a little bit, I don't mind that. I would not just cut corners to make sure that this vision and dream of mine basically kicks off and just for the sake of creating a buzz. I am not doing that. Yeah, so I'm excited. We have our document, a seal. Liberia Land Authority issued this envelope. So I'm very excited about that. So we can go ahead now and start clearing sites. So, and we will commence that and we'll show you videos of how we are going to start doing that. So let's rewind my 3 weeks here so far. So I've been doing a lot of things. So as you can see, I've been engaging the government, and that can take some time. Navigating traffic to go to town, to have meetings with government officials and things like that. It can be hectic. And then from there, I have to commute to Xity, which in Liberian traffic and the condition of the road. There's a lot of road repair work that is going on right now along the road where Xity is located. So that takes some toll on my day. It takes away some time from useful work that I could be doing. But when I look back over 3 weeks and see what I've accomplished, I'm really excited. So here are a couple of things. First is this document, which is the most important thing, right? It's the legal side, the government side. Those are the things that are outside my control, and when I accomplish those, it's exciting for me. So I got that done. The next thing is the actual work on the site. So we built the storage, the temporary storage for storing some materials on the site at Xity. We are able to store at least 5,000 bags of cement in that storage, but we're not going to carry that much cement at once. Right now we have 500 bags of cement on site, and work has begun to make bricks that will make the actual fence for the workers' yard. So we are going to build an equipment yard, basically, right? So this is where we are going to be storing all of our machines, and I'm also going to use that yard as a temporary home for myself. So I'm going to build at least some things some basic utilities that I would need, like water, latrine, and maybe a small cabin, basically, or some type of makeshift thing that I can sleep in. So that's what we're going to do there, and that work must be done. So that's one accomplishment we're done with that. The next thing is I've been dealing with a lot of processing of equipment that we need to receive, and we'll give you more update on that as the time goes by, but we are making progress on that. I've also received some really enthusiastic responses from Liberians who are in public offices or in the private sector, and I'm really happy that people are able to see at least half or even a quarter of the vision that I see and anticipate for Xity, and by seeing that, they are able to respond positively to what we are trying to do in Xity. So I'm really excited about that, and I'm talking to those people. Some of them are already really super thrilled about the prospects of things that will happen, and trying to even get into acquiring their own spot in the residential community in the city, which is really nice when you see people locally and excited about that. The other thing is that, which is a side effect of working on Xity, is the job opportunities. The communities within the vicinity of Xity, they're really excited. As a way to even thank them for the support so far that I've given. The support is in the form of, like, whenever I go there, they sit and talk, like they treat me as one of their own. The elderly people, like, call me their son. The young people call me their father. Yes, I'm now officially a dad of many kids, right? Many young people. So It's really humbling, to be quite honest, to think that this Xity idea, as distant as my vision of its full potential realization is, but even now, there are people who are looking forward to really having their life impacted by some of the immediate and not too distant future opportunities that will emerge out of it. And it's really interesting to see that. I think I made a video of a young lady in Exeter called Hannah, in the host village of Exeter, actually, called Hannah, who basically was speaking genuinely about job creation there, that they need jobs there. And just to let you know, I've started, since we started doing the work for the temporary storage, Hannah has gotten some job there, which I'm really happy about. And not only Hannah, but a lot of the women in the host village actually have been working there and earning some money. I'm really super excited about that. And this is just the beginning, because we're just talking about building our campsite, basically, the worker site. We haven't even started clearing the site for exit and doing other things, right? So I'm super excited about that. Yeah. So all in all, like sometimes people worry about starting such a thing when you're not deeply connected in government, and I can understand the sentiments around that. Some people from like some past experience has informed them that for such a thing to be possible, you have to be really deeply connected with government. Unfortunately, I am not, and I, so the thing is, perhaps I'm on the optimistic side of things here, that I'm doing something with no sinister motive, no evil intentions, and it's possible that people may want to just get in the way of this type of thing for no reason other than just to, mess things up. Uh, just to not have good things happen. So that's possible. However, I still believe that there are more people who would like to see such a thing like this actually be accomplished. Whether they can do something to help it or not, but if they have the opportunity to do something about it, to help it, they will help it. And it's based on that particular reasoning that I am into this without all of the deep connections that sometimes that appear to be necessary for such a thing to be successful. I think maybe those deep connections will come later, now or in the future. I don't know, but I think that individual people that I've talked to, whether in the public sector or in the private sector, some of them seem to be genuinely supportive, and I appreciate that fact. And I think that is how I will continue to proceed with this. I started this with the notion that I will, get around obstacles using various techniques. So I'll continue to stay that course. And I think if you ask me now, like having touched the ground, this is where rubber meets road, right? You do all your planning in an abstract sense. I mean, acquiring the land itself was not abstract. That was a lot of hard work. But I think now that I'm actually beginning to develop the land, this is where rubber meets road, and all of your plans can change drastically. But I think so far, I remain really positive about the prospects and the possibility of exiting. I've seen some really interesting people, like whether they can help or not. It's just good to have people like that around who see the value of something like this and are happy about it, right? So whether they are helping spread the word about it, and you never know who they might talk to in a positive light about this, and who those people might be in terms of like the level of support they can bring. So I'm really excited about that. So I'm really positive. Overall, I'm happy about the reception so far received in Liberia. Sometimes the notion about I don't want to get into that, but it's look, I'm so far I'm really excited about being in Liberia, and what we are doing, and I look forward to continuing to update you on the milestones that we are achieving along the way. And I'm super excited. Today is Saturday, marks officially 3 weeks here. I'm super happy. Looking forward to all of the great things that will come later. And I'll give you some updates because there are a couple of things that are going to happen in the next few weeks. So I'll update you and then you'll get to know. Thank you, and you guys have a wonderful time.